they can just keep spamming their level 1s back and forth.
They can just keep spamming the level 1s back and forth, and it's just going to come down to who has the execution, who can actually hit these notes in time correctly, and you already see that JonConBoi is just like throwing stuff out there.
Yep, so as we see, they are just throwing out the level 1s constantly.
Okay, just like a very slow-paced match right now. We're actually getting a bit of a name swap. I do believe that's actually going to be the TheHeartContainerCafe who's in the lead. This map isn't so difficult from the beginning, right? You're only getting like a few notes that you have to worry about. And I gotta say, she is responding beautifully to all of the attacks that JonConBoi is putting out there.
Yep. And it looks like they're spacing out, throwing out their levels pretty well in between just the quick little note breaks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yo, JonConBoi's got a lot to worry about. That was a little bit rough. You saw that speed up. Look at the health button. This is not going good.
No, if he doesn't bring this back, it's going to be a quick victory for TheHeartContainerCafe probably in the next 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, but right now, both of them, it's starting to get a little bit more even here. JonConBoi has just been on the offensive. The TheHeartContainerCafe taking quite a bit of damage, but now finally throwing stuff out there. JonConBoi is slowly struggling, starting to fall under the pressure.
Ooh, and with that last hit, TheHeartContainerCafe takes it.
Yeah, takes game number 1. Yeah, I feel like I forgot what specific level of the special, if that's the I think that's the EX move. The EX move from King is so good because all of a sudden it completely throws your opponent off of their tempo. JonConBoi was not able to respond to it super well, and I feel like that just killed a lot of their momentum.
Yep. And that speed up is so hard to deal with because, especially since we're so unfamiliar with the charts right now, that's basically having to redouble the speed of what you're just being used to.
Yeah, that's right. Public speaking is difficult. Now do it twice as fast, essentially, right? So, a little bit of a challenge, and already TheHeartContainerCafe now falling behind just a little tiny bit, but again, just using up that EX right from the beginning.
All right, this one going a little bit differently from the start. JonConBoi up a little bit in the first third.
Yeah, right now, just TheHeartContainerCafe just focusing on the EXs, focusing on, continuously using them over and over, actually, and just focusing on her own game plan. In the meantime, JonConBoi has just been purely, I feel on the defensive, but he has just been executing a little bit better than TheHeartContainer has.
Yes, especially for this round. And he's been throwing out quite a bit of reversals from what I've been seeing when TheHeartContainerCafe has been trying to throw out these level 1s and 2s.
Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden, the map's getting significantly more difficult. You saw those double scrums for a second. I was like, oh my god.
Yep. Oh, and that might do it here. Yep. Those extra notes did TheHeartContainerCafe in on that one.
Yeah, really simple compared to game 1 and game 2. The fact that JonConBoi had to deal with multiple more of those EXs from King, responded to them adequately, and didn't actually fall behind or lose as much momentum as last time. I feel like JonConBoi's just execution was a little bit more tight that game 2. I
agree with that, yes. Looks like TheHeartContainerCafe was getting overwhelmed by the notes at points and wasn't throwing out any of the supers or anything.
It was just EXs, which, I mean, to be honest, is a very fair EX as well. It's very, very solid. But in a way, it can also give you opponents some more opportunities to hit some flawlesses, especially if you're not focusing on your own game plan. So it can be a bit of a double-edged sword, no? Yeah,
you could potentially bait King's level 1 because if you are expecting it, well then you can do that and then immediately throw something out after.
But you already see TheHeartContainerCafe now just being a little bit more, I don't know, liberal with some of these special usages.
Yep, and we'll see if any of the players play more conservatively here and more focus on the notes themselves for a little bit, just to make sure they are good and set up to be able to use any of their meter.
Oh yeah. Okay, right now JonConBoi, same kind of fate as last game, and now all of a sudden TheHeartContainerCafe has to deal with the same exact speed up. Both of them are just going back and forth right now. JonConBoi just trying to pick up the pieces, but wow, this map is picking up.
Yes, this one from 0 to 100 very fast. And now just both players bleeding damage here and there like nothing. Oop, especially as the lane speed up comes out. And the additional notes, both players taking damage pretty consistently now at this point.
Yeah, the really big thing is also sometimes you can definitely like take full advantage of when there's just like a lot of already existing notes on the screen. That's what I feel like King's level 1 is so useful. But now TheHeartContainerCafe going to be taking that game 3, feeling themselves, absolutely hyping themselves up. A little bit of cheer in the background, some clapping as well as they move on to losing semis.
Yeah, and that game 3 was down to the wire again, just pixels of health, and congrats.
Of course, yeah. So I'm glad that we're seeing a lot of King gameplay, as predicted. You know, talking to like one of the developers before I got on commentary, I was kind of told, yeah, this guy's kind of busted right now. Especially for new players. You put a lot of stuff on the screen, you just make their lives infinitely more difficult.
Yep. That is exactly what I heard too. I also heard Hilde is very, very good.
Solid, easy to pick up. I mean, that's been like the majority of what we've seen thus far. Lots of Kings, lots of Hildes as well. We saw the one Yo